Welcome to Minor Snap, the NFL podcast where British banter meets American football brilliance. And this week we are spoiling you with not one, but 2 episodes. And if you haven't already, then check out our London game special, available on all your favourite podcatchers.
So alongside Ryan, we are transatlantic touchdown tour guides, breaking down the biggest hits, the wildest players, and all the drama from across the pond.
So whether you're from Brentwood all the way to Buffalo, Wembley to Washington, or Lakeside to LA, we've got your weekly fix of game previews, spicy takes, and a whole lot of gridiron goodness.
So grab your brew, rep your team, and mind the snap, because we are kicking off and we're going deep.
Welcome back, Snappers. Week 4 was a roller coaster. I mean, there was rookie breakouts, historic performances, and some brutal injuries. Lee, where do we even begin?
Ryan, this week he had it all. Some of the rookies made the headlines, some legends even breaking records, and a historic game in Dublin that felt like a playoff atmosphere. So let's break down our top 5 NFL headlines from week 4. So the first one we'll go into with Jackson Dart's debut as the Giants shock the Chargers. Let's start with the biggest upset. Rookie QB Jackson Dart led the Giants to a 21-18 win over the previously undefeated Chargers. Dart threw for 111 yards and a touchdown, then added 54 yards and a rushing score on the ground.
I mean, in that opening drive, mate, 89 yards capped by Dart's 15-yard scramble into the end zone. He actually really looked composed, he was very decisive, and he was mobile. But the celebration was short-lived as Malik Neighbours went down with a torn ACL. That's a huge blow for the Giants. That's
devastating for them. It's Neighbours one of the leading the league in receiving yards. He's their weapon, isn't he? It's no matter how good your quarterback is, if you've got no one to throw to.
He's been a big miss for the Giants.
Massive miss there. Yeah. But Dart has become the first rookie QB since Phil Simms in 1979 to be the 3-0 or better team in his debut. That is elite company.
That is indeed.
And I do think that Rusty Wilson is going to stay on the bench.
I think so.
I can even see Jameis taking his number 2 slot at some point.
Headline 2, the Eagles stay perfect, but the offense stalls late, but the Eagles moved to 4-0 with a 31-25 win over the Bucks. But let's be honest, it wasn't pretty.
No.
Jalen Hurts had 130 passing yards and 2 TDs, both to Dallas Goedert, but the offense completely stalled in that second half.
0 passing yards after halftime. That is wild. AJ Brown had just 7 yards and 9 targets. But again, special teams saving the day. Another blocked punt returned for a touchdown. That's crazy. 2 in 2 weeks. It's crazy.
That is good, man. Proves the special teams are good. We called them out the other week. Special teams win games. I mean, they're winning against the Eagles and with defence and special teams, but if the offence doesn't find rhythm, I mean, it could soon catch up on them, I reckon.
Exactly. They've been so quiet, haven't they? So moving on, we have Steelers beat the Vikings in Dublin. The Rodgers and Metcalf shine. So we had history in Ireland. The Steelers beat the Vikings 24-21 at Croke Park. Aaron Rodgers was surgical, 18 of 22 for 200 yards and a TD. DK Metcalf, he was magnificent. 126, including an 80-yard catch and run that lit up the stadium.
That was the longest scrimmage TD in NFL International Series history. I mean, that's good company. And how about Kenneth Gainwell? I mean, with Jalen Warren out, he stepped up 99 rushing yards, 2 TDs, 6 catches, and all for 35 yards. I mean, really good going from him.
Oh, massive, yeah. You need these players to come in and step up, don't you? And then the Steelers' defense was ferocious. 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, and a pick by TJ Watt. Carson Wentz was under siege all game. That Vikings O-line is in a shambles.
Yeah, TJ Watt is elite, isn't he? Like, what a player to have in the Steelers there. Defensively there.
Yeah.
I'd look a bit at TJ Watt.
Another Wisconsin alumni there, along with Dalton Taylor from last week.
Headline 4, and now I don't know if everyone saw this come up. Mahomes makes history, and the Chiefs actually crushed the Ravens. Our man Paddy Mahomes, he threw 4 TDs in a 37-20 win over the Ravens. and became the youngest QB ever to reach 250 career touchdowns at just 30 years old. That is good going.
It is crazy, and people never put him in that elite category. And he did that in only 116 games, breaking Aaron Rodgers' previous record. And it wasn't just padding the stats; he torched the Ravens' defense. Had been leaking points. The returning Xavier Worthy had a 50-yard touchdown bomb that was vintage Mahomes.
It's good to have him back actually for the Chiefs. I mean, you can definitely tell they were missing him.
They needed the target. They can make the yards, they can make things, but if you can't make the game wide, you struggle. If you're only one-dimensional, if you're only rushing or you're only playing in the pockets, then you need that extra dimension, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, while it's bad news for the Ravens that Lamar Jackson left with a hamstring injury, I mean, the Ravens, can you actually believe now the Ravens are now 1-3 and they're both banged up on both sides of the ball? Definitely not the start that they envisioned.
No. Yeah, we don't know how long Lamar's going to be out, and if it's any period of time, I think they're going to struggle. Low on confidence, 1-3, their main man out. It's not good. And not good for me there, with Lamar being my starting QB for my fantasy team.
Not good for the fantasy, not for anyone.
Lost it for me this week. But our final headline, the Titans and Saints still winless. Is it panic time? So two teams at 0-4, Titans and the Saints. And it's not just the record, it's how they're losing. The Titans got shut out 26-0 by the Texans. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward had just 108 yards.
Man, that's not good. Not when you.
I do feel sorry for him. He has got some talent, and it's there. There's just no O-line. There's no spark, is there?
And then let's talk about those Saints.
Oh.
Luckily for me, save me having to wear the jersey this week. But Spencer Rattler, he's now 0-10 as a starter. They lost 31-19 to my boys from Buffalo. My main man, Josh Allen, threw 2 TDs. James Cook again was on fire and he ran out another 117 yards. The Saints look like they're spiraling a little bit.
Yeah, for me they do as well, but I think they'll take something out of that game. It took some magic from Josh and from Cook, but I do think coaching changes might be coming. So Brian Callahan's already given up play calling duties in Tennessee, and I bet Dennis Allen's seat in New Orleans is getting a little bit warm.
I bet it is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
We'll just go over the bit of injury roundup as well. We talked about injuries before, but besides Neighbours and Lamar, I mean, there are some big players out now with injuries.
Yeah.
You've got C.D. Lamb out, J.J. McCarthy, Chase Young, Derek Stingley Jr. is likely, and also obviously Joe Burrow's been out now for a couple of weeks. I mean, that list is getting big.
Exactly, and when you look at the teams that are losing these players, so the Vikings, they're struggling at QB. Chase Young, they need for Saints, they need something. Isaiah Likely, he's a different option for them, isn't he? We always talk about the running game, but you need someone in there to do the blocking and make the catches.
You can see as well that the Bengals are definitely a different team without Joe Burrow.
They're not a team. You can have all the talent in the world alongside you. We always talk about the running backs and the wide receivers, but if you've got no one who can throw the ball more than 4 yards, it's not going to happen. And only being week 4 on that injury list is brutal. So depth is definitely going to be a key moving forward.
100%. I mean, that wraps up our deep dive into week 4. I mean, next week we've got some big games coming up, actually, so there'll be a lot of talking points. We've got the 49ers and the Rams, Eagles and the Broncos, and the Browns taking on that battered defence of the Vikings in the UK. Yeah. That's a good one.
And we'll be watching in anticipation to see if Jackson Dart can keep the magic going.
Until next time, stay safe, stay loud, and stay football obsessed. Welcome back, Snappers, and week 4 was absolute madness. From Dublin drama to some Mahomes magic, we had comebacks, collapses, and a fake tush-push that had us all rewinding the tape. Lee, let's get stuck into last week's games.
So let's kick us off for the game in Ireland, Steelers and the Vikings. So this was the first ever NFL regular season game in Ireland. It was a belter. The Steelers raced to a 24-6 lead behind Aaron Rodgers, who went 18-22 with a gorgeous 80-yard bomb to DK Metcalf. As we mentioned in the news, Kenneth Gainwell stepped up big time with 99 rushing yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, I mean, they were good, weren't they? I mean, Carson Wentz nearly pulled off the miracle, but despite missing three O-linemen, he threw for 350 yards and 2 scores, including even an 81-yard dart to Jordan Addison. I mean, the Vikings did claw it back to 24-21, but Deshaun Elliott broke up the final 4th down pass to steal it for Pittsburgh. I mean, Dublin, you definitely did us proud this weekend.
Yep, and TJ Watt, pick, sack, pressure, everywhere. Steelers go 3-1, and Rodgers looks like he's found his rhythm.
Good win for the Steelers, that.
And a really good story for them. So they're owners of Irish heritage, and they've donated loads to Irish charities, and I think it was their grandfather or great-grandfather who owned the Steelers was the first one to, wanting to get a game in Ireland. So the families pushed and pushed to be the first ones. So a good story for them there, isn't it? It's
that is really good. I mean, I don't think we didn't even pick the Vikings. We picked the Vikings last week to win, didn't we? And we used the grain.
We won't say who Leo and Jackie picked.
No, we'll keep that. They know who they picked. They don't need to hear it again.
They know. Yeah.
Talking of Leo, then, so the Bucks and the Eagles. I mean, special teams and some Saquon trickery. I mean, the Eagles stay perfect and 4-0, but man, did that game get spicy. I mean, they led 24-3 at halftime thanks to a blocked punt TD and 2 shovel pass scores from the main man Hurts himself, and then Saquon Barkley pulled off a fake tush push, untouched from 6 yards out. Genius. I mean, I must admit, when they lined up, I think everyone thought the same. Even tripped me watching it. I was like, "Oh, what's going on there?" Really good for
the way they did it was fantastic. Everyone on the cover blocked them all, so everyone was waiting for the tush push. The 4 of them came on the blind side, and Saquon jogged home. Baker Mayfield and Bucky Irving weren't done there. Irving had a 72-yard catch and run touchdown and 165 total yards. But Jihad Campbell sealed it with a red zone interception and a forced fumble. So the final score, 31-25 Eagles.
I must admit, when that got in that 4th quarter, I was going to and fro myself. I thought, the Eagles have got this wrapped up, and then all of a sudden the Bucks were straight back in it again. You're like, oh, maybe they can do it. I mean, everyone must have been on the edge of the seat here. I was unsure where it was going, but Philly's red zone efficiency, I mean, it was unreal, wasn't it? 11 for 11 this season. And a shout out to rookie CB, Quinion Mitchell. I mean, he locked down Emeka Ibuka all game. The rookie was good though. I mean, his TD was
very good, yeah.
Really impressive.
And you can't blame him for the one TD that Ibuka got in for there, because that was class.
It was really good.
That was good, yeah.
Really good game, actually. I really enjoyed watching that.
Exactly, yeah. And I don't think Leo enjoyed watching it until the end.
No.
Yeah. Moving on to Jackie's game, the 49ers and the Jags. Duval delivered a statement. So, upset of the week. Jags beating the previously unbeaten 49ers, 26-21 in Santa Clara. Trevor Lawrence was sharp. Is he starting to earn those big bucks? Travis Etienne exploded for 124 yards and a touchdown. And Parker Washington's 87-yard punt return was pure electricity.
We've talked about Parker Washington on the London game special.
Yeah.
He is obviously a punt return speciality, because that's what, an 87-yard punt return. That is pretty good going. Yeah. To your point, mate, Trevor Lawrence is starting to prove everyone why he's been paying these big bucks. So beer's on him at the moment.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Devin Lloyd had 2 picks. Eric Armstrong stripped Brock Purdy late, and the Jags forced 4 turnovers. I mean, that's key when you're trying to go against a side of that quality. 17 points off takeaways. The Jags' defense is legit. I mean, and they're now 3-1 with serious momentum.
They're sneaky in that 3-1. But was it a decision that they should have made, bringing Brock Purdy back in? They've been 3-0 without him, almost, haven't they? Do you change that rhythm? Questions have got to be asked upstairs for that.
Next game, the Ross Lee Derby, as we called it last week. Caleb was pretty clutch, and Blackwell, amazing block. So, game of the week for drama, maybe this one. The Bears won it 25-24, in Vegas. Caleb Williams wasn't perfect though. I mean, 212 yards, 1 TD and 1 interception, but he led a game-winning 69-yard drive, capped by DeAndre Swift TD with 1 minute 34 left.
Yes, my heart was beating a little bit faster than it needed to on that one. Yes, I was doing this episode in a Raiders jersey. At one point, it could have been me in the Raiders and you in a
It could have been this
Saints. But then Josh Blackwell blocked the Raiders' 54-yard field goal attempt to seal it. Geno Smith threw 3 picks. So he's not down and out, is he? He's after leaving the Seahawks. It was kind of winding down his career there, but it looked good. And 2 of those picks up to Kevin Byard III. But Ashton Jaunty is looking good this year. 138 and 3 TDs. Just wasn't enough.
Ashton Jaunty, do you know what? That's the first time I've really watched him in terms of and he is going to be mega, I feel, as he gets going. The Raiders have got themselves a player there with him and Bowers in the side. If they can get it right there, they could actually be a force in the years to come. And
Myers as well. Jacoby Myers out there. I think they've got the beginnings of a decent team. They just make silly mistakes. I don't know if it's rookie mistakes, but you can't really call Geno Smith a rookie, can you?
I mean, Chicago's defence is feast or famine, really, aren't they? But they are 2-2 headed into the bye. And Max Crosby, I mean, fair play to him for the Raiders. I mean, absolute menace. 5 tackles, 1 interception. He was constantly pressuring the Bears. I know the Bears won, but I'm sure the Raiders can probably think, hang on, there's some positivity coming out of this.
You've got to. When you lose by a point, you've got to have some positivity in there. It's when you're getting beat 2-3 scores, isn't it? When you've got to kind of look at yourself and think, hang on. Anyone can beat anyone in this NFL. It's on the day, it's a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Well, as you're saying there, a little bit like 40 seconds away, that kick goes in, we're talking about a Raiders win this week, and you've got your Raiders shirt on, mate. And that's how it
Yes.
Ross, it's not all doom and gloom yet, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on to the Rams versus the Colts. Stafford's deep ball and curls pick. So the Rams hand the Colts their first loss, 27-20. Matt Stafford rolled back the years. 270 yards, 2 TDs, including an 88-yard bomb to Tutu Atwell. Puka Nacua was unstoppable again. 13 catches, 170 yards, 1 touchdown. I do think that, as we mentioned before, that Puka is becoming the Travis Kelce for Matt Stafford, as Mahomes was. I'll get out of jail free when he's incredible, Puka. He makes us some great space. He's always available.
As we said last week about the Rams, obviously they played the Eagles last week and they were really good last week against the Eagles. And the Colts, you could argue, this is probably their first big test. The Rams obviously edge it here, and it's a good win for the Rams. The Rams are going to be a dark horse. I think they're going to be a team. Nobody's going to want to play them if the Rams get into which I expect them to.
Yeah.
But no one's going to want to play the Rams in the playoffs. I mean, Cameron Curley had 2 picks, including 1 on the Colts' final drive. Daniel Jones threw his first interception this season. He had 2 Ds wiped out by AD Mitchell mistakes. I mean, the Rams have bounced back and they're 3-1. So I think the Rams are going to go well this year.
It is. It's an interesting division for them as well, though, isn't it? It's there's 3 teams at 3-1 in that division.
It's a good division now, as we covered it last week. There's some teams in there who can do really well this season.
Exactly. So on to what we deemed the game of the week: the Chiefs versus the Ravens.
The man's back. Paddy's back. Matty Mahomes is back. Chiefs crushed the Ravens 37-20. As you covered in the headlines, I mean, it's 4 TDs for Mahomes, including strokes to Juju, Pacheco, Thornton, and Hollywood Brown. He was actually awesome, Hollywood Brown, again this week. Xavier Worthy returned and opened up the field for 121 yards. Can't write the Chiefs off yet. They're back in it.
Lamar Jackson threw his first pick of the season and left with a hamstring injury. Justice Hill had a late 71-yard touchdown, but he was too little, too late. Ravens are 1-3 and riddled with injuries. As we talked about in the headlines, it's going to be tough. But they've also got Raquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley all banged up.
mean, the Chiefs, man, they scored on 7 of 8 drives. I mean, that is scary efficiency from them there. Baltimore's defense gave up 33.2 points per game now. I mean, it's the worst in their franchise history through 4 weeks. Concerning. I mean, when we talked about the Chiefs they could have potentially gone 0-3, and all of a sudden now everyone's like, hang on, never write off the Chiefs. They've been there, done it. The Ravens now are in trouble. The only people who are happy about all this going on now is the Bills. We are chuffed. We're 4-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Let everyone else beat everyone else.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at week 5 now, Lee, and the matchups are definitely heating up. I mean, there's desperate winless squads and there's undefeated juggernauts. Let's go, Buffalo! This slate has everything. I mean, let's dive into the games that we're watching this weekend.
So starting off with the 49ers and the Rams. Injuries, efficiency, and a battle for the West. So, let's start with that headline. San Francisco is banged up. Brock Purdy's toe injury is lingering. George Kittle's still out. Rick Pearsall's status up in the air. And Nick Bosa done for the season. That's a brutal list. You can get by with a couple, one maybe 2 of your stars, but
you got a few of them out.
Yeah.
I mean, and meanwhile, you're coming against a Rams team that are rolling. Old Matty Stafford threw for 375 yards and 3 TDs last week, and Puka Nakua, he's rewriting rookie records there. I mean, 42 catches in 4 games, trying that all-time mark. LA's off front is humming at the minute.
Exactly. Without Nick Bosa in there to organise and to do that, is it? How much space is Puka going to get this week? But don't sleep on the Niners. So despite all the injuries, they're top 8 in offensive per play, and they lead the league in drive success rate. Christian McCaffrey's averaging just 3.4 yards per carry. But he's leading the passing game. 92 receiving yards and a TD last week.
Yeah, I mean, that's good going, considering he's mainly known for his running with the ball. Yeah. So he's getting some yards in the air. That's pretty good for him. And defensively, both teams are solid. I mean, the Rams are allowing 24 points per game. The 49ers just 20.7. Both ranked top 10 in yards per play allowed and third down defense. I expect a bit of a grind in this one.
Exactly. We could see the Seahawks to take advantage of this. Any slip ups by either of them, because the 3 teams on 3-1, aren't they?
What are you going for this week, Lee? If you have to pick a winner out of this one,
I'm going for the Rams. It's for the 49ers for all the good that they're doing. I thought it was a mistake bringing Brock Purdy back. They looked disjointed. He didn't look fit for me.
Yeah.
A lot of their turnovers were because of him. So, well, from what I saw. So I think the Rams, they're full of confidence, aren't they?
I am going to go snap with you, mate. Yeah. I mean, I'm going for a Rams win. I know we always say we've got a lot of love for the Rams. Probably one of our sayings now. Got a lot of love for the Rams. But you're right, the 49ers are full of injuries. The Rams are looking good. I can't see past the Rams this week.
No. So that moves on to the Dart versus Desperation in the Dome. Giants versus Giants. So Jackson Dart gets his first road start after leading the Giants to a gritty win over the Chargers. But he's going to be without star wide receiver Mike Neighbors, who's out for the season now.
That's a blow.
That is a huge blow to an already thin offense.
On a plus side, though, for the Giants, the Saints are 0-4, but they have been competitive. I mean, they gave the Bills a game last week.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler hasn't won a game yet, as we just covered, but Alvin Kamara is still a threat on the ground, and the Saints do average 301 yards per game, but they do give up a lot of points, 30-odd points. I mean, that's the worst in the league.
It is, but I don't see the Giants scoring. It's where's their threats from? Obviously, we got some good running game there. Scatterboo.
He's good. He looks really good.
He's looking really good.
Yeah.
But you need a dual threat. So all the teams that we see they're winning it, they've got that dual threat. You can't just rely on your quarterback and your running back, or your quarterback and your wide receiver. We saw them this week. The Chiefs turned it around. They had a wide receiver on there. They're the good running backs, and they had their QB on form.
Just having all those weapons makes you a force, doesn't it?
Exactly. All your tools have got to be in. Everything's got to work. And I just don't see that the Giants have got that. And with I think if Dart can avoid turnovers and the Giants' defense does hold up, they might sneak a win. But I think it's a real opportunity for the Saints, especially for 3 quarters. They gave the Bills a good game.
The Saints were almost, in all fairness, if that TD hadn't have been overturned,
yeah,
could have been a different game for Buffalo, and the Saints might have got away with a win. So it just proves how tight it is in the NFL.
But when that turnover happens, when the things change and don't go for you, they're not playing against Josh Allen this week.
No, true that.
They're not playing against Cook this week.
What are you going for then, Lee? What's your prediction for this one?
Well, I think this could be Saints' first win.
Wow, good.
I'm gonna go for it.
Bold call. I'm going to go against you. I'm going for the Giants. I did see a lot of improvement from them, and I have seen improvement as the weeks have gone on. They definitely look a lot better team. Sorry, Rusty. They look better with Dart playing now. So
I thought Scatterboo had more freedom.
They look a lot better. They do look a lot more fluid. So I'm going Giants.
Yeah, I thought that his drive started higher up the pitch rather than waiting for the drop off, winded up Hail Mary from Rusty. But yeah, so that's going against each other there. So we'll see. See who comes on.
Next one then. Dolphins versus the Panthers. Is it waddle time in Charlotte? Tyreek Hill, as everyone now knows, is out for the season, so it's up to Jalen Waddles to shine. I mean, Tua looked a bit sharper again last week. I mean, and Devon A-Chain, he is a star in the making here. He is a running back of immense ability. He was incredible last week, and Tua looked like he wasn't that far behind Josh Allen at times, despite his press conference that we know he can be. So the Dolphins looked a lot better at the weekend, I must admit.
Exactly, and as we kept getting told by our good friend Dan, apparently the Carolinas got smoked by the Patriots. But they're back home where they shut out Atlanta in week 3. That was a great result for them. Bryce Young needs a bounce back. And I reckon that Chuba Hubbard could find some lanes against that Miami shaky run D.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both teams are 1-3, and they are probably both desperate for a win, in all fairness. But they do allow a lot of points against teams. Like Dolphins are allowing almost 30 points per game. The Panthers are in the mid-20s. This could be like a shootout. Both defenses are leaky, and the overlooks, they do look tasty.
Yeah. So, what are you going for in the line?
I am going for a Dolphins win. Again, similar to a bit like the Giants. I think the Dolphins have looked unlucky in some games recently, so I can see them improving again. I mean, when we done the division review, we said we thought the Dolphins, if they turned it around, could end up finishing second in their division, and I think it's another winnable game for them here. They've got some games coming up that they've got enough ability in that side to do it. Yeah, Tyreek's out, but I still think they're going to get the win. Dolphins for me. What about you, mate?
So, I might go against you for this one. I think that at home, I just can't get that shutout against Atlanta. I know the Cardinals aren't great this year, but they're 2-2 still. So to go, the home crowd can maybe get them bouncing. So I'm gonna go for the Panthers. So that moves us on to the Titans versus the Cardinals. The Rookie Wars versus Redbird Redemption. So the Cam Ward Titans are winless and just got blanked by Houston. They've only scored 51 points all season. That is brutal.
That is pretty brutal. I mean, Arizona's lost 2 straight heartbreakers, haven't they now? But Kyler Murray is still slinging it. I mean, Trey Benson and Trey McBride are emerging weapons in that side, and the Cards D is quietly solid, but 6 points allowed.
When you look at they've only scored 51, but they've let 120. Yeah, so we look at the Browns have only scored 56 points, but they've only let 102. So that difference there. So some of these other ones with... so the Jets aren't even doing... they've scored 90 points for their 4-0.
This one's a hard one to call, I feel.
Yeah.
This could go either way for me.
It is. I do feel sorry for Ward. It's a bit like Williams last year, wasn't it? He got no protection from that O-line. But I might go with the rookie.
You're going for him. Cam Can. That's what you're going for.
Exactly, Cam Can, yeah. There's no doubt he's got talent. He's incredibly talented.
Yeah.
It's just whether they can click. He does have targets there. It's not as though they haven't got any players at all, is it? It's
No, you are right, man. I'm going against you a bit here. I'm going only because I really couldn't pick either way, and I've thought about this as we've discussed these games earlier in the week. I'm just going to go with what my head's telling me and going for a Cardinals win.
Yeah. So moving on, we have the Commanders versus Chargers.
Justin Herbert's bounce back. So he had a bit of a rough outing, didn't he, against the Giants last week?
Yeah.
But he's definitely a top QB, and he's still in the top 5 in passing yards. I mean, Amari and Hampton, he had another breakout game with another 128 rushing yards. He looks like a machine.
Washington's defense is so inconsistent, isn't it?
It is.
27th against the pass. But they can pressure the QB. So if Jaden Daniels returns, it could be a sneaky upset.
Could be. I think, though, with the Chargers, they're probably the favourites being the home team. I mean, they're defensive 4th in points allowed and the 5th against the pass. So if Herbert does get the time that he needs, I think he'll carve them up.
Yeah, they need to be getting. If Chargers want to be moving through into the playoffs, they need to get as much of a lead on the Chiefs as they can in that AFC West.
100%. I mean, I can't see past the Chargers win. This is really quite simple for me. I'm going Chargers. Watched the Commanders a few times already this season. They haven't overly impressed me. Like the win against the Giants was a bit sloppy. No. The Chargers generally, to me, do look. I mean, I know they lost last week to the Giants, but overall, I think they've looked quite solid. So, as we're sort of calling out the headline of this game, I think they're going to bounce back and get the win.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that one. I can't see past Chargers here. Commanders would like it to put them some distance between them and the Cowboys in the NFC East, and pretend to put some pressure on the Eagles. Yeah.
And then finally, mate, the Sunday night showdown, or should I call this the easiest game in the NFL? The Patriots versus the Bills. Obviously, it's a Bills win.
Yeah. We haven't even got to predict. Haven't got to predict this, have we, Ryan? So it's you're going Bills 19-0. That's it. But then Drake May looked sharp last week.
He did.
But this is a whole different beast. When Buffalo are 4-0, averaging 33.3 points per game, and Josh Allen's cooking.
He definitely is cooking. But in all fairness to New England, I mean, the run game could exploit a bit of a weak rush D. So 164 yards allowed per game, but Allen v. May, for me, is a mismatch, especially in our last season at the stadium. I can't see it.
Yeah, they want that shutout, don't they? Yeah, it's James Cook is cooking.
I can't. I mean, obviously, you can never know in the NFL. I think it's going to be a really hard ask for anyone to come to that stadium this year and try and get a win. It's going to be a hard ask for anyone.
But is this Stefan Diggs' revenge game? He's been good so far, and I think the Pats might hang around. I just think the Buffalo's firepower could just be too much.
Do I really need to say anything more here from my side? It's a Bills all the way.
Yep, and sorry, Dan. Bills for me too. Bills, was it 7-0 or whatever it is now? I've lost count.
Dan, to anyone listening, I said it last week for the Saints. It's going to be a Bills win this week. Pats win, I'll wear Pats jersey next week. That's how confident I am. Bills 5-0. That's the way it's going to go. So that's your Week 5 rundown. There are some upsets brewing. Definitely not a Buffalo, though. Rookies are proving their worth, and the playoff pitches, they are starting to form up.
Yep, it's getting spicy. I think it's. I think in the last few years we've really been paying attention. I think it's up there with one of the best starts.
100%, man.
So welcome back, Snappers, to the podcast where two Brits with zero playing experience, but a ton of NFL obsession, try and decode American football so you don't have to.
And today, Snappers, we are on a mission for you, Snappers. Maybe you just picked a team because you like the logo. Maybe you got dragged into fantasy football at the office, or maybe you're watching your first game and wondering why it stops every 10 seconds.
So think of this as your tube map for the NFL. By the end, you'll be able to follow a game, chat in the pub, and not look completely lost.
So let's start with the basics. I mean, the first word you probably heard, linked to the podcast, snap. It's how every play starts. The centre passes the ball backwards to the quarterback.
So picture a kickoff in a Sunday League match. Instead of a tap forward, someone fires the ball back through their legs, and our podcast name, Mind the Snap. Basically, pay attention or get metaphorically shoved under the northern line.
And then you've got downs. You get 4 goes, basically. 4 downs, as it's referred to move the ball 10 yards. Make it, then you get another 4. Fail, you're handing the ball back to the opposition.
Think of it like darts at the pub. You've got 4 throws to hit 301. Make it, you keep going. Miss badly, your mate's on the hockey.
And then, what makes the prizes are the touchdowns. Put the ball into the end zone, 6 points, and then you can kick the extra point. Or you could actually go for the risky one and go for the 2-point conversion.
Yep. That 2-pointer is the NFL's version of a risky double top finish. More reward, but you might just blow it.
And then you got the field goal. We covered this in the special teams, but kick it through the big yellow post. You can't miss them for 3 points. I mean, it's a bit like a rugby penalty, but further back, and you're wearing helmets.
Yep, and punt. If you can't make the first down, you hoof it away. Think Sunday League defender yelling, Rosette, or get it away, Tony Adams.
Well, what we used to have. If in doubt, get it out.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a look at some of the key positions. I mean, you got the quarterback, or the QB, as a lot of people refer it to. He's normally the captain. He throws us the passes. He's the one calling the shots. Think Harry Kane if he could also pass 40 yards with his hands.
So we have the running back, takes a handoff and legs it. Like a winger in rugby cutting through a gap.
And then we've got the wide receivers. I mean, they sprint and catch the long passes. Imagine Saka if he had gloves and shoulder pads.
Yep. So the tight end, he blocks and catches. Think of it as a cross between a rugby prop and a number 8.
And then you got the offensive line, the O-line. As you remember, Snappers, no O-line, no show.
Yes.
These are the big lads who protect the QB. Basically, your 5 burly mates forming a queue at the local kebab van.
And we know what happens when you don't get that.
Yeah.
Misery. So move on to the defense. So the defensive line, giant humans trying to squash the quarterback. Like a Six Nations scrum, but angrier.
Then you got your linebackers. I mean, these are the all-rounders. The tackle runners, the blitz, who blitz the QB. They drop into coverage. They are like Swiss Army knives, but basically with pads.
Then we have secondary, which are the cornerbacks and safeties. For like fullbacks in football trying to stop a counter-attack.
Interception and pick you might have heard of before, so that's when the defence nabs the QB's throw. That's like, imagine nicking someone's cross and sprinting the length of the pitch, basically.
Or clearing a corner and scoring a goal. So moving to penalties. So you'll see the flags flying left, right and centre. So we have false start. The offence twitches early. It's like a 100-metre runner flinching before the gun.
It is, yeah. And then you got offside. That's just really where the defence jumps a bit earlier. Similar to VAR calling someone's toenail offside, basically.
Yeah. You have holding, which is illegal grabbing. Basically shirt pulling, but with 20 stone blocks.
Yeah, definitely, man. And then you got pass interference. This is when the defender hits the receiver before the ball arrives. I mean, literally like when you're a clumsy centre half and the striker's going through on goal.
Like, like Dan Burns playing against Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So we have some commentator jargon. So if you upgraded your NFL experience from Channel 5's House of Fun to Sky Sports or DAZN, then these phrases, sayings are things you may hear from the commentators or the folks in the studio.
Start with pick six. A good one though. Interception when it's returned for a touchdown. I mean, pitcher nicking a pass and running it back to score. I mean, that is pure limbs.
Yeah. Then we have the Hail Mary. The desperate, long-last second throw, like lumping it into the box at the 93rd minute. You may have heard us talk about Rusty Wilson and his
Mary.
his Hail Marys, but he does them from the first quarter. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Then the next bit I love a blitz. And when
Oh,
I'm playing Madden, I wing this on blitz. The defense literally just sends extra attackers. Full pitch press, something Klopp would love.
They're in the red zone, so inside the 20. Feels like when a football team's camped in the opponent's box.
And then we've got play action. This is quite. I love watching when the teams do this. It's a fake run, then pass, like a rugby dummer, like a rugby dummy pass, but a lot more fancier.
Yes. And then we have a 2-minute drill, which is a frantic end of half attack. Think Fergie time, but with timeouts.
Then you got a bit of culture and fan life. I mean, fantasy football, very, very popular within the NFL community. I mean, you pick your players, earn your points. A bit similar to the FPL that everyone's used to in the UK, but your tight end might score you 25 one week and literally 0 the next.
Yep. And instead of everybody having Salah and Haaland, it's whoever chooses them first. So nobody has the same players.
That's one of the things I do love about the fantasy football. Like you said, for instance, I've got Josh Allen, you've got Lamar Jackson. It's literally just how they play that week rather than everyone having Josh Allen playing.
Yep. So on to a tailgate. Just a huge car park party. Imagine barbecues outside Wembley before an FA Cup final, but bigger, louder and smokier.
And that's where the beers are on them people.
Yes.
Then you got the Lombardi Trophy. I mean, that is the Super Bowl prize. I mean, it's their FA Cup, but shiny chrome.
Yep. And we have the combine and the draft. So it's like the NFL's job fair. So picture Love Island, but instead of roses, teams pick lads who can bench press a Mini Cooper.
And then there you have it. So an NFL cheat sheet with a bit of Brit flavour. I mean, now you can watch the game and not ask, why are they punting every 2 minutes?
But if we miss something that you hear, just message us. We can add it in next time, or we can do a special post for you. We're learning too. Just one tube top at a time. So Ryan, it's time to head out west. The AFC West home to big names, huge expectations, and a couple of franchises that feel one good season away from breaking through or breaking apart.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's one of the most talked about divisions every year. You've got the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. All very different vibes right now, though.
So let's start with the obvious. The Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Still the standard in the AFC West. They've been the kings for years.
Yeah, you're right, man. And Mahomes is still Mahomes, isn't he? Ridiculous arm angles. Magic when things break down. And then in defence, they got Chris Jones, who is that defensive anchor. But I do think the big question is who's catching the ball outside of Kelce. I mean, you got Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore. Someone has to step up.
Exactly. You've got Pacheco and Hollywood that would make some yards, but they're about making plays rather than scoring the big points. It's good for them that Worthy's back.
They definitely look a different team now. Worthy's back in there.
Exactly. So the pressure's really on that receiver room. Chiefs are so good, but you can feel that if Mahomes doesn't get help, he could finally trip them up. Still, Mahomes himself, absolute star man, no debate.
Yeah, there's no debate there. Mahomes is the main man.
Yeah.
Right, that moves us on to the Chargers. New head coach Jim Harbaugh comes in trying to reset everything after years of Chargers.
Yeah, and the whole story is Justin Herbert. He's got the arm, he's got the calm. but Harbour wants a tougher, more run-focused, balanced team. After some cap gymnastics and a big roster changes, I think this front office needs this to click.
Yeah, definitely, man. And Quinton Johnston is definitely feeling the heat. I mean, he was their first rounder last year, and he's barely made an impact. Year 2 for him is huge.
So, star man, do you reckon it's still Justin Herbert?
It's definitely Justin Herbert. He is the main man there.
I think if Harbour gets him confident and protected, he's up there in that top 5 QB territory, isn't he? Yeah. If not
and then a top team that we sort of covered before on this show. A lot of love we have for these guys as well. It's the Las Vegas Raiders. Antonio Pierce keeps the head coach gig after firing up that locker room last year.
The defence is easy. Max Crosby. Enough said. Absolute machine off the edge. Soul of that team. But offensively, big questions at the moment. They're running with Aidan O'Connell for now, but nobody's sold.
No, you're right, man. And the new GM, Tom Telesco, he's under pressure already. I mean, if O'Connell struggles, I mean, they'll be forced to find the next QB fast. I mean, now they've lost Devontae Adams. I mean, John T looks good there. John T looks good in LA. I mean, and Brock Bowers is definitely good. They've got some good people there. I mean, maybe it's a rebuild year for them, but I think they'll come good.
Is Brock still on the injured list, or is he back?
I think he played last week, didn't he? I remember seeing him play last week. So
yeah, it's just, is it an upgrade in that Geno Smith and Kenny Pickett and the QBs?
Hard year for them. I think they see how they get on this. A rebuild year. We'll give them a rebuild year this year. They've got a lot of ability there, and they're showing teams. I mean, like we said, they took the Bears really well last week. So
yeah,
I mean,
I like the look of Jacoby Myers as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've got players. I mean, for me, the star man's Crosby. He's, like you said earlier on, like, he is a machine, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. They've got some calm heads in there. They just don't bring it all together, do they? Ashton John just scores lots of points, but sometimes you don't know whether the ball's going to come.
No.
Yeah. So I think I'm agreeing there. Crosby is a star man. He just plays angry. Reminds me of Roy Kent.
He does me. He does me. That's a very good example of him.
He's just relentless. He has that look on his face, doesn't he?
He's an elite defensive player there. I do like a lot of time for Crosby. Yeah. That moves us on to the Broncos then. Sean Payton is still trying to clean up that Russell Wilson experiment. So they've got Bo Nix now, the QB from Oregon. He's probably fighting for his job maybe, but he's starting to look a little better.
Yeah, and have they got a lot of patience left? If Nix wins the gig, he's under the microscope straight away. I think Payton too. I think potentially year 2 of his rebuild, they've got to show some direction.
Yeah, I mean they've always
got to close those gaps, haven't they? They've got to be in the shout with the Chiefs and the Chargers.
They done well last year, didn't they? Again, they got into that playoff there. I know they lost to my boys from Buffalo, but we've said when Gilly was on the show, they took the Bills really well. Defensively, they're really good, the Broncos. And Bo Nix has obviously got a lot of ability. They're probably a dark horse in that division with the Chargers and the Chiefs in there. I mean, there's some good teams in there.
Yeah, I like Evan Engram at tight end. And Cortland Sutton is...
he's very good.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
a very good target.
Yeah, I do like the look of him.
I see. Did your trade go through with Steve on Cortland Sutton?
Yeah, I got Coleman now. I got Coleman from the Bills in my trade.
Yeah.
What do you predict for this division?
I think this is a much tougher call now we're into the season. After last week, Chiefs looked down and out. You couldn't see where the points were going to come from. But last week, they showed they are still contenders.
Yeah, and with the Chargers losing to the Giants last week, I mean, that was a shock, wasn't it? They were 3-0 and then to go lose to the Chargers, which I think was a shock for pretty much everyone in the NFL at that point. But on a plus side for the teams in this division, it did open the door for the Chiefs and the Broncos.
Indeed, it's going to be a close for divisional title, and there's a possibility of 3 teams making the playoffs. And the Broncos have only been a couple of bad luck calls away from other wins.
And sorry, mate Ross, we're not talking about the Raiders making the playoffs this year. But in other side of it, like, who do we think is in contention? Lee, how do you think this division's going to wrap up?
So as of today, probably change next week. I'll probably go taking the title, the Chiefs, close behind in the Broncos. I do think the Chargers will fade a little bit, but they'll still be competitive. And then the Raiders will pop up the shop.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that. I mean, the top 3 are scary teams in that division, and it could give anyone a really good game in the playoffs. I'm going to go with you with the Chiefs. I'm actually going to go Chargers second, and then the Broncos third, Raiders fourth. Chargers, Broncos, I could probably argue either way, to be honest. That's quite a hard one to pick. You could probably go either way. A really hard division. A division with lots of quality teams in there, and I think everyone will be interested to see how this season goes. But you can never write off those Chiefs.
No, I just think the Chargers showed the vulnerability last week against the Giants, and the Broncos have been steady with that good defense. It built the foundations, and I think it is unfair on the Raiders. We do give them a bit of abuse.
We do.
They're in a tough division. I liken them to the Bears, with the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions. You're not going to get much love there, are you?
No.
Some of these draws are made to test you.
The Raiders, I think the Raiders in a couple of years, a couple of more good draft picks, and again, I think they might be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think if they get some pace in there, and so get a couple of big guys to protect a QB, and then I've been knocking on Cleveland's door with he's not getting a lot of love over in Cleveland, is he, Saunders?
And I reckon the socials make it happen.
Yeah, so I reckon that you put him in there with some of these younger players, they might create something. But yeah, so there we are, and that is the wrap up on the AFC West.
Well, that just about wraps things up for today's episode of Mind the Snap, but a big thanks for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoyed the ride.
Absolutely. And if you want to keep the conversation going, you can find us on Instagram at Mind the Snap Podcast, over on X, Twitter, at Mind the Snap Pod, and of course on TikTok at Mind the Snap Podcast.
And guys, make sure to give us a follow. Drop us your thoughts and let us know your hot takes. We just love hearing from you guys.
We do indeed. Get involved in our rookie thoughts and let us know where we're going wrong. So don't forget to tune in next week to see how we did with our predictions. And as usual, we'll be diving into more NFL action, stories, and maybe some more debates.
But until then, thanks for listening. And remember, mind the snap.